Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday, and we are back with the tier 10 French battleship, the Republique. And yeah, I finally got around to actually making this video to show off her AA. Now I did mention when I was covering this ship, her AA is really good. It is actually a really good AA ship. Not gonna say it's as amazing as obviously a Des Moines or Minotaur, but she can handle airplanes fairly well. But if a determined carrier player wants to go after you, they will go after you. But let's go ahead and take a look at the team. We're playing on War's Path, playing Domination. We have an Enterprise, Republic, Kurfürst, Musashi, Bismarck, Hindenburg, New Orleans, 3 Shimikazes, Benson, and a Loyang on the enemy team. There's a Lexington, Republic, Yamato, Iowa, Bismarck, Hindenburg, New Orleans, Goering, Shimikaze, Haberdosh, Benson, and a Ognevoy. Now, I will let you guys know this battle is not overly exciting. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. But you are going to be seeing me essentially running away. But the real reason why I wanted to show you guys this video is that, once again, her A is really good. And yes, keep in mind these are from a T8 carrier, so the planes aren't going to be always the most amazing as far as health is concerned. So keep that in mind when you're playing a Republic and you are dealing with tier 10 CB planes. So just keep that in mind. But just watch how quickly her AA can melt these planes away. And I will have to point out this mod that I actually do have currently on that shows you your AA and your secondaries. It actually shows you how many are still active. It's a really nice mod. Really does help you if you are curious how much of your AA or your secondaries are still around. But just watch how many planes we actually managed to take down. As you can see, the enemy CB is currently going after our Shimikazes, and so he's leaving a lot of his planes within our AA bubble, and this is very detrimental for this carrier. And we've shot down his entire squadron of dive bombers, which has already gave us 10 planes to our name. But as you can see, the enemy team is actually going to start pushing quite heavy into C, which is not going to be something particularly something I want to see, because as you will see in a moment, well, as you can see right now, we are the only real battleship over on the eastern side of this map. And now we have torpedo planes incoming and fighter planes, and just watch how quickly these planes melt to our AA. CB is going to drop, but as you can see, he's lost quite a few of his planes. Almost nearly that entire squadron is now dead. Actually, is in fact officially dead, and now his fighters are now currently being focused on. So do be careful about the Republic's AA. It can definitely deal a significant amount of damage against a squadron of dive bombers or torpedo planes or even fighters. So another thing, keep in mind, CB players, if you have a Republic, you can use their AA to your advantage because it's actually really good. Now, as I did mention, this battle is not going to be overly exciting, and the reason why, as you will see here in just a moment, as we're trying to get away from this island, we're going to be running. And this is actually one nice thing about the Republic, is that she's actually fairly decent at kiting. She's actually really good at kiting, and that really comes down to her speed as well as her secondaries. And you will see what I'm talking about here in a little bit, but right now we really need to get away from this island and try to get into some open water. Now our team is slowly, and I mean slowly, pushing up into A. There's not a lot of ships over there as far as we can tell. There is at least a destroyer and a cruiser. Looks like maybe another destroyer is in fact over there. So 2 destroyers on that side and a cruiser. Now it looks like the enemy CB is once again coming after us, and just watch how quickly this CV's planes go down. Now keep in mind, this is not a full secondary build, but it does have the benefit of AFT, which does buff the AA range. And Squadron is coming in. They are almost all officially dead. I think we finally shot down that last plane, and now comes another squadron of dive bombers. And yeah, this is really good for us because it does mean that we are going to get a lot of experience for this. A lot of experience. But it is probably a good idea to start running away. Another squadron of dive bombers, and you see the dive bombers are in fact using HE bombs. It's not AP. Because that would actually deal a significant amount of damage. And oh, looky there, we finally got the enemy Hindenburg. So we finally got a kill, but we honestly haven't done that much damage. But right now, getting away is probably going to be in our best interest, because that is a Iowa, Republic, Yamato, I think is still fairly north, as well as a Bismarck, a Ognivoy, and a Benson, I believe, is still on the eastern side. We'll be seeing quite a few of those ships as we go, but here comes the CV once again, and as you can see with that mod, we can see all of our AAs still very active. And with the fact that the CV player actually has to go the long round just to get a drop on us, he's lost his entire squadron, and we have actually just earned the new medal for the AA, which is something you don't see very often on a battleship. But we're already at 43 planes. 43 planes in a battleship, so definitely very, very much beneficial, and it's a good demonstration on how her AA is compared to most other battleships. It's probably the next best thing, or almost as competitively compared to, is going to be the Montana. Montana's AA is pretty strong and can hold its own against enemy CV planes. Now, as you can see, we are obviously running away. There are in fact the Ognivoy as well as the Benson, as well as the Republic, Iowa, and Bismarck. So yeah, it's a good idea to actually start running away. But one nice thing about the Republic is her secondary range, and any moment now the Ognivoy has strayed into our secondary range, and you can understand why I think this ship's actually a really good kiting battleship, because her speed is nice, but her secondaries are also very beneficial, because even at this range our secondaries are in fact starting to land and starting to cause damage. So very beneficial to actually have having the secondary benefit. So yeah, not a bad battle, but right now we are gonna have to try to keep our distance. Now we'll pick up in a little bit as we're continuing outward, chased down by 3 battleships. Fortunately, or better yet, unfortunately for us, the enemy CV player has switched targets, is no longer going after me, but in fact going after our forces that are starting to push into B. I will have to say our team did take a little bit of time pushing from the western side to the eastern side, so it did make this battle a little bit more difficult than it needed to be, but that is quite alright. Still alive and kicking, and should do just fine. But once again, not particularly exciting. This is something I've noticed quite a bit with the Republic, is once again she's actually really good at kiting, and looks like the CV's planes are still hanging around. Looks like he's trying to spot those shimikazes that are lurking about. We do have a friendly shimikaze that's very, very low in health, and another shimikaze being chased down by the Benson, but the Benson is never going to catch the shimikaze straight on, so not always the best option for him. But we have just lost our shimikaze to the Ognivoy's torps, which is not particularly beneficial. But our team is starting to pull the weight. The enemy team have just lost another ship, and now we are officially head in number of ships. However, we don't have as many battleships, but Yamato has finally made it around the corner, and you can kind of understand the issue at the moment is there's nothing really we can do. We just have to try to pull away and try to get as much distance, maybe to actually get turned around and push against the enemy forces. Because at the moment, well, once again, our team is taking their sweet time pushing from the A cap into B. So yeah, not particularly what I want to see, but does look like the friendly Shimikaze that did go down did take out the enemy Iowa. So that is definitely very beneficial for us. That is one less tier 9 battleships for them, and the enemy team have just lost their gearing. So you can see the balance of the battle is starting to switch, and obviously more in our favor. We are now ahead in ships. And what type of ships that we do have one additional destroyer, so that should prove beneficial. Now keep in mind the enemy Benson is still chasing our friendly Shimikaze, who is doing his very best, albeit I'm actually quite curious on how many torps he landed, but Shimikaze is doing his very best trying to drop torps, and Ognovoy is spotted for a second, not quite yet visible, but there is the Bismarck. Gonna try to at least do additional damage as much as possible. Took another hit from that Yamato. I mean, yes, unfortunately Yamato can do fairly decent amount of damage even though we are running away, so that is a slight downside, but I think it is actually about time we should be able to get turned around, because we do have a friendly Musashi that is starting to push air quotes towards the center of the map, and got a decent hit on that Bismarck. Nothing too extravagant, but semi-decent. But we should be able to actually start getting turned around and maybe start pushing back, because our team, once again, is taking their sweet time about pushing. We do at least finally control the B cap, which is about time, which is obviously going to give us a very much a points advantage compared to the enemy team. Alright, so with this, we can finally get turned around. We do have to be careful. There is a Benson, and unfortunately our Shimikaze has and is not currently spotting the Benson anymore, so we don't exactly know his exact location, and we've just lost our New Orleans to that pesky Ognovoy, once again with torpedoes. But we do know that Benson is starting to obviously come our direction, because we are now hard spotted, and there we go. Benson is finally detected, and our secondaries are almost within range, but not quite yet. We should be able to at least start firing here in a moment, but do have to be careful, because that is a Republic and a Yamato pushing our way, and obviously gotta watch out for torpedoes. So as you can see, this battle kind of starts off very slow as we were trying to pull away as much as possible, and fortunately we do have a Musashi, which is beneficial because Musashi carries the Yamato caliber guns and can deal a fairly significant amount of damage even against a bow on ship such as this Republic. My focus is going to be the Republic first, take him down as quickly as possible, but we do have to be careful about that Benson. That Benson is around somewhere, but not currently spotted by our friendly Shimikaze, and was hoping at least get maybe a Citadel on this Yamato. Let's see if we can get lucky enough, but it does look like the Republic does take out our friendly Bismarck, and I think it's actually probably a good idea to start getting turned in, as there is still a Benson around, and that Republic is now coming into, as you can see, a brawl. We're actually having an official brawl, and it doesn't look like this Republic is a secondary build, so that is interesting. But he decides to show us a lot of broadside, and I will take full advantage of that. Get almost 13,000 points of damage right there. But unfortunately, the Republic has the major issue of the fact, well, she doesn't have any additional turrets besides that very front one. And wow, really? Yamato even starts focusing on us. That's unfortunate. Alright, Benson first. Do a fairly significant amount of damage, but unfortunately, obviously, the Benson is going for the torps, and which does mean we probably will be going down. But maybe we can get this Republic out as quickly as possible. There we go, close quarter expert. Benson is now down, and torps are incoming, but this Republic shows us the broadside, double citadel, and double strike. And there's those torpedoes, but fortunately for us, our team is in fact going to win, and shouldn't be a major issue. All that's left is the Lexington, Yamato, and that pesky Ognivoy. That pesky Ognivoy is around. So, not a terribly exciting battle, I will fully admit. However, the very end was actually very, very fun. But main thing I wanted to point out about this video is the Republic's AA and how actually really good it is, and how I would highly recommend use it to your advantage, because it is one of those few ships that can actually in fact deal with enemy CV planes. But anyways, this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.